Hello everyone, my name is Corvus, and welcome back to Starsector, where I have lied to you once again. At the end of last episode, I said I was going to do some between-episode shopping of ships, and I figured, you know what, why don't we do that together? Also because there's a lot of pirate activity here. We have a notice, I think it should be here, yep. Pirates in Corvus. So, there's actually a system bounty of 1.6 thousand credits per frigate, which isn't a ton, at least not for like small fleets like probably this one here. But I wanted to talk today about, oops, if I can press the right button, I wanted to talk today about a couple odds and ends, and I thought that bringing you back before we do our shopping was probably a good idea. Because we've talked a little bit about building ships, or at least I've shown you. I haven't really done much talking, and that's kind of on purpose, because, well, actually it is on purpose, because this is one of those games where it's so much easier to see something done, so you understand on an intuitive level how to play with it before you learn the actual numbers. Because the numbers are many. They are many. There are numbers everywhere. And there are things, there are just, words and ratings, and what do all these things mean? And I'm trying not to dump these all on you at this, all at once. So today we're going to do a little bit of that. I want to sort of get started to help sort of get you more comfortable with at least some of the numbers and some of the things you need to think about as you are building a ship and as you're building a fleet. So today, I guess we're going to do, a little bit of both. A little bit of both. So we are going to actually pop back out and sneak in with our transponder off. Like so. It is that simple. It is absolutely that simple. So we can shop on the black market all we want, and nobody will care. I think I will get this pulse laser from them. Ooh, they have thunders. Yummy. They have anything else? They have advanced optics. I'm going to buy this and learn it, mostly so that it removes it from the pool of potential things that can show up in shops here. I'm also going to buy this salamander because I've been looking for one for a while. I'll get into why later. And then I'm also going to go ahead and buy, let's see, I kind of want, let me take a look at my hammerhead here. Get degraded engines, and the faulty automated systems isn't the worst, although the reduced combat readiness is kind of bad. So I am thinking I might just buy this fresh hammerhead. But I'm definitely buying the Condor. It's in pristine condition. The Condor is probably the most basic carrier that's a dedicated carrier. We do have ships that are carriers. We have our ship, our flagship, is technically a carrier. It has these drones. And then our Shepherd here is also a carrier of drones, but we can't change these out. These are built into the ship. So that's the big difference between our ships, our quote carriers, and this Condor here. I'm going to go ahead and buy it right now. Get that done. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to buy the hammerhead, and I'm going to buy this Medusa too, because it's only DMI as a glitch sensor array. That is fine. That is fine. And the open market is once again full of nothing but junk. It is just so weird to me. I can't get over that. I will probably gush about it every episode, about how weird is the black market has better ships than the open market in almost every location. It's just so goofy. Anyway, getting back to the ships we just bought. So the Condor has 2 fighter bays, and these, we get to pick what goes in them. And it also has a missile turret for medium missiles. It has a couple small ballistic turrets. These are pretty much just for point defense, so we won't fill those with anything special. The hammerhead, of course, is a hammerhead, same as what we have now, but in notably better shape. And I might actually just mostly transfer over what we have to it with some possible additions. And I'll move our officer over too. The Medusa is an interesting ship. It's got a few more ordnance points than our Hammerhead. But look at all these weapon hardpoints and turrets. We have 2 hardpoints and 2 medium turrets, and then 5 small turrets. It is just absolutely covered in weapons. However, it doesn't have a huge amount of flux dissipation, so we're not going to be filling all of these out with ridiculous things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at what they have for sale here and buy some PD lasers. Yes, unless they're cheaper on the black market. Oh, we are on the black market. Sweet. I'm going to buy the efficiency option for guns. We're going to buy a couple. These are heavy needlers. How about light needlers? Anybody? No. That's okay, though. I think for now, we are going to skip back over. We'll repair our ships. Ooh, that hurt. I'm going to buy a few more of these. There we go. We're going to skip back over to this terraforming platform, transponder on, just in case any patrols show up. And we are going to look... Right, these are the ships we just left here. We're going to look at what we have in our stash here, because we dumped all of our stuff in here last time. So we have a bunch of different LPCs, which are the sort of 3D printing license keys that we have for printing these ships. That literally is what it is, a license key for printing a ship, or a fighter. And I'm thinking, I do like the Thunders. Thunders are pretty good. They're very fast, they're pretty tough, and they have a very long attack range. See over on the right there, it says maximum engagement range of 6,000. That is the highest in the game. Most fighters engage at 4,000. There are a couple that engage at 2,000, and some that actually can't leave the ship at all. They stay hovering around the ship. So with carriers, you kind of want to, well, you can go one of 2 routes. You can go the balanced route, where you have sort of like, say, a broadsword and then like a bomber, where your broadswords are supposed to go in and sort of gum up the enemy's defenses, while your Cobra sneaks in under the radar and delivers its Reaper. That can work. It doesn't work as well, however, on smaller carriers like this, where you kind of want to focus on what you're doing. So, for instance, I guess we couldn't do 2 broadswords, but I am thinking about, what if we dump this and we put a Thunder in, and we go over and get a second Thunder. Let's go do that real quick. Let's just do this once again, and we'll go buy a single Thunder from over here. Oh, just one, please. Thank you. And here, we'll go ahead and we'll fit this right in here. Now, what our carrier is going to do is it is going to spawn with these guys here, and there'll be 4 little fighters sort of in a little group. And what it'll do is it will be able to send those fighters up to 6,000 space units away. And I have no idea how long a space unit is, but it's the longest range in the game possible. And it can do one of 2 things. It can either send these in to directly attack an enemy, where it has a light dual machine gun, a Swarmer SRM launcher, just like we have on the Wolves here, the little 4-pack missiles, or 5-pack missiles, and it has a high delay ion cannon. So these guys can deal with shields from their light machine gun, armor with a Swarmer, and then they can deal EMP damage with the ion cannon. These are terrific all-around fighters, or interceptors in this case. Now, for our medium missile turret, I was hoping to have a bigger salamander, but we don't. We'll probably take a spin around the area here, around the system, to see what we do have. And they are indeed engaged in a little battle. You know, I think this Ludic church trader is going to get their tailpipes pushed in, so I am thinking we should go help, because 1, we'll get a little bit of money for it, and 2, we might earn some goodwill with the Ludic church. Let's go ahead and hit these guys real quick while we're thinking about what we're doing with our weapons and things. We'll send ourselves out. We'll just send the big three, probably, and maybe you. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the cost of battle. This will cost us at least 2,500 credits to deploy here, and we're probably not going to recoup a whole lot of it, unfortunately, because of the way the system bounties work. So let's just have you stack up on me, and you stack up on him. There we go. Let's get on in here. And we're gonna maybe save the day. Do. What are you? You're dead. That's for sure. Come on. My goodness. Dead, like I said. What do you have on? Who am I? Oh, whatever. Dead. And I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. Ooh, that's gonna hurt us a lot, actually. Ooh, uh-oh. Let's try to catch up to you. Ooh. We're just trading green lasers here, apparently. There we go. That's more like it. Of course, that overloaded us. That's okay. And what do we have here? We have you guys having fun down here. We'll leave them alone. We'll come down and take care of these guys. And this is why you want to have, at least in this particular playstyle, you want to have a really nice, fast little ship. Because it can take a while to traverse the entire map in a battle. Alright, buddy, let's get in here. I'm just going to go ahead and eliminate you. Do you have a shield? You do, okay. Unfortunate. Alright, back off, back off. Ah, I got us. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. He's a goner. Give him a missile. There we go. Our missile blew his shield out. Alright. So we can join the pursuit. Yeah, we will send our second in command and just tear him apart. Like that. We got him. Recover any ships? No, not really. So we got a paltry 860 credits from the CPU cores, which is, I guess, a thing. We're getting their bitcoins. And we will get some wreckage. This will help us recover our repair costs. So 41. We'll get 45 of this, and a bunch of odds and ends here. We also got 11,600 credits, which isn't a ton. Like, this isn't the greatest way of making money, but in a pinch, if you're already in the system, you don't have to go anywhere. Now, the other reason that I want to do that is you'll see that we got some level up notices over here. Let's see if they show up in the intel here. Does not, okay. And I wanted to go over how you level up your officers, and I noticed that they were basically at the like 98% of level 1 last time we were playing. So you'll see when your officers level up, look at a little plus sign here. You can click them and then hit the level up button. Now beware, you'll see that there's a difference in their monthly salary between this guy, this person, and our level 5 that we didn't assign last episode. But as you level them up, their salaries go up. So we'll go from 900 to about 1,300 credits a month. And so again, as you make your fleet better, everything will cost more money. So you need to figure out how to make things cost less money, or more likely, how to earn more money. But let's go ahead and level this guy up. Now, they will generally level up and get skills available that are kind of keyed to what they've been piloting. This guy has been piloting a ship that's based around ballistics and missiles, so he's probably going to have some access to some gunnery implants. Okay, there we go. Damage control, that's, takes a lot of damage, I'm gonna bet. Point defense, I guess it gets used somewhat, and target analysis. This is an amazing skill to have. This is the one where, in conjunction with the Wolfpack tactics, you can have destroyers that are just face tanking and destroying capital ships. It is absolutely nuts, because we're looking at a plus 20% from this, a plus 10% from our other skill, so plus 30% damage just to capital ships. Amazing. And then even for smaller ships, more damage. So, target analysis, yes, please. Now, what is Malka Olympus going to get? Okay, we have some options. Impact mitigation. As for armor, I'm not super wild about any of these. I think either Ordnance Expertise or Polarized Armor, and I'm leaning toward, I don't know, neither of them. I'm going to say not now, because the Wolf isn't going to be her permanent ship, so I think we're going to wait until we find a better ship, and then we'll decide what to do. And they will still gain experience points while they are leveling, or while they are sitting here unleveled, I think. I hope. You know what? Let's just level her up. More flux dissipation, or... Yeah, we'll do that. Polarized armor. Yeah. Okay. So, back to fleet composition. Let's get back here. And we can get back into what we're doing with this guy, and we have a medium missile turret. And there isn't really anything here that I want to put in right now. The Pelum actually might be a good one, because... Actually, I lied. That is the one I want. Yes. So the Pelum is a long-range missile launcher. It has missiles that basically recharge. So I'm guessing there's like a 3D printer on board that will recharge missiles. And it'll fire a burst of 3 every 16 seconds. And these will basically just spend a while loitering, tracking the enemy, and once they get close, it'll shoot 3 warheads that can deal a good chunk of EMP damage if they hit shields. So, pretty decent. And then on the turrets, I think we're just going to put probably Vulcans. And if you are adding turrets or any weapons to a ship, and you want to add multiples of the same one, you don't have to go through and click the same item every time. You can just shift click, and it will add the last thing that you put on. It'll highlight what those were. So there's that. Now what else do we want to do? We can add some hull mods here. I don't think we need a whole lot, but I am thinking about the ECCM package, because this will make the missiles it has fly a lot farther, or a lot faster, and they'll be harder to shoot down. So I am thinking about that. And then we will increase capacitors, because you want your carriers to have high flux capacity, because they need that in order to send their fighters out. When they send them out, they start generating flux. And so we want to have a decent amount of capacity. Now, we don't have a ton here, and that's okay, because these guys are quick, and they will get the job done real fast. So let's take a look at our... Let's take a look at you. I'm almost thinking of trying out a different build using these heavy maulers, although they are very expensive at 12 OP compared to 7 for these heavy mortars. But the thing with the maulers versus mortars is that if you look at the mortars, they deal 2 shots at 110 damage each, a total of 220 damage per second. The heavy maulers do 3 shots at 200 damage each, but only 120 DPS. And their flux per second is 120, And flux per second here is 180. So these are more flux efficient per damage dealt, because the flux per damage is 0.82. These are more flux efficient over time, not per damage. However, the 200 damage per shot is actually a big upgrade over the 110, because armor piercing is based on how much single damage a particular round deals. So 200 damage over 110 means that it's going to actually chew through the armor of an opponent's ship a lot faster. Let's see if we can get this thing kitted out with these maulers in place. I don't know that we can, and still have room for everything else that we need. Because I would kind of like to have railguns on here, because these are probably the best option we have for anti-shield. 167, 143, and better aim. Let's do that. And we're going to put more Vulcans on here. And missile hardpoints. Probably just these again. Harpoons. And we'll auto-assign weapon groups. And now we have 41 more ordnance points. Now what do we put on you? We had safety overrides and hardened systems. And a whole bunch of vents and capacitors. Okay. What happens if we add those in here? Safety overrides, and we don't have room for hardened systems then. No, we do. Just barely. Just absolutely barely. Okay. Hardened subs. That's a tough call. It's a very tough call. I do almost feel like the mortars might be the better option just because they're a little more efficient on OP. Although we do have mining lasers that give us a little bit more to play with. So what if we did something like that? And we move our buddy into it. Blam. And that actually gives it more flux dissipation because he has ordnance expertise, which gives us 2 more OP, or sorry, 2 more flux venting per OP spent on weapons. So that actually buffs that pretty well to the point where we can probably drop this a little bit and give us a bit more capacity again. And let's see how he does with this. This should be interesting to watch because these are a little bit slower, like per shot, but they should be a lot more damaging in the long run. And now the Medusa. I don't know we have what it takes. No, we don't. To outfit the Medusa. So, I think we should go for a bit of a milk run. Let's go take a look around. We're going to save here. And I don't think what we wanted was here on a Sharu. Repair ships, sure. And we have a bunch of non-energy mounts, okay. And little guns. I'm not looking for those, though. Okay. I am looking for something specific for the Medusa, and that is, I found a build by Big Brain Energy. It's a different channel here on YouTube. That it really works well. It works stupid well. So I want to see if we can gather the things we need in this system to actually put this build together and make it actually work. So let's go ahead and see if we can find it. We're going to head up here first, and I'm going to stop by this wolf and probably tear it to shreds. Yep. Don't mind if I do. And we're going to head up here. We got to notice that Hegemony and Tritac are now friends again. What do we have up here? We have pirates galore. Okay. Now, I don't want to fight them right now because if we fight them too close to the station, they won't let us dock. They're in battle. Off goes our... Ah, we can't. Okay. Let's take a look at the dockside bar. We have a shifty woman fitting with the Cybermod jack. That's the one where they want to sell us the codes for somewhere, in this case the Syndrian Dictat. So that's fun, but no thank you. We have a hard-drinking spacer. These will always offer you a ship on the cheap. Sometimes they're in good condition, other times they are kind of like this one. Oof. Ouch. Yep, they cost more to maintain, they're slow, and they're slow both in and out of combat, so no thank you. Anybody to hire here? Nope. And we're going to trade goods and see what they happen to have. We have some stuff that I don't really want. They have a heavy armor mod spec. You know what? I'll buy that. Get it out of the pool and also add it to the list of things we can do. And on the black market, they have... Ooh. I might buy a couple of these to have. So the salamanders, like this one we bought here, this is another rechargeable missile that will snake around the back of a ship and try to hit their engines and disable them. And this one is a better one that shoots two at once. So we're going to grab that. Extended shields, we'll buy that too. Get that out of the pool of things. And they don't have anything here. Nope. And here, they have a nice omen, but we have one. I'm not quite ready for a second one yet. I mean, I wouldn't say no to it, but no. Let's go ahead and we're going to leave. Oh, these guys are going to fight us too. Oh. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do. We might hurt after this one. We might be hurting after this one. Okay, so we're going to send in ourselves and our officer ships. I am going to bring out this one because we're going to need the firepower. We have our Condor, newly outfitted. And then basically all of our other usual suspects. And that's going to be all we can feel, because the Medusa is just a hull right now. It has no weapons. You know what? We'll bring out you two, just for grins and giggles. Oh boy. Alright, I'm going to stack up a little bit here. Let's have you with you. And I want to have you guarding him a little bit. Beyond that, let's go. Let's roll. And now we have 1,000,000 contacts. Alright, buddy. Oh, whatever. Oop, back off. Time to back off. Time to back off. Time to unback off. Okay. Take care of you first. Ooh. My Owen buddy is not helping me very much right now. I'll get you disabled. There we go. Okay. Swoop! Oh my. Taking that on my haul here. What have we got going on here? Ooh, we're kind of far flung out here. I don't like that too much. Well, I'll see what we can do. We might be okay. Oh, we got him. Oh, come on. Just kind of hit him with a... Oh, it didn't kill him? My goodness. Alright, come on. There we go. Okay. Got him, finally. Alright, Omen, do your thing. Or drones, do your thing. This one might be a tougher nut, because we are still a small ship. Ooh. Oh, got him pretty good there. Now we are hurting as far as flux goes. But I'll turn my shields off, which will help us save a little bit. Let's go ahead and vent while our Omen stays up close and personal. Yeah, whatever. Weapons off, please. Ooh, that was close. Gonna vent. Stay just out of range. And off he goes. Alright. How are we doing here? Okay, I don't like this too much. You. No, you. Ooh. I'm avoided for now. We might go over, we'll clean up these guys, and we might go over and take out this guy on our own. But I need this guy engaged. And you're hurting a little bit. You could use a wingman, actually. Alright, let's go help. To the rescue. Oop. Oop, 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 oop. Let's go help. Get out of the way. Leave my friend alone. My dad can beat up your dad. We're right on the very edge of flux over here. Ouch. Took our first little bit of hull damage there. Let's get up in here, and goodbye, Shepherd. Ooh, yeah, I got you. Oh, you're toast. You're toast. Alright, where are we going? We're going down there. Okay. Ooh. Oh, you're toast, too. Did we lose our Condor? Oh, that's a real shame. That's a real shame. I am disappointed. Please tell me we did not just lose, like fully lose the ship that we just bought. I'll be real mad. Okay. Alright, we're going to go ahead and engage him. And... yeah, you know what? You stay with him. We've lost a couple ships here. That's not great. Well, let's roll. We'll take care of the Shepherd here first. Oh man, he's wrecking him. He's just trashing him. Oh my goodness. That was a joy to behold. That was a joy to behold. Oh my goodness. Oops, I'm going. My thrusters were like not firing there or something. Okay, it is time for all of you guys. Oh my goodness, that was not nice. That wasn't very nice. Time to turn off your weapons. Ooh, wow. Shields on, please. So we can... yeah, goodbye, buddy. Okay, get him out. Okay. Wolf class, reporting readiness going down soon. I think you should be okay, yeah. And you get to turn off. Oh, here comes our guy. Oh, let's watch him go. Oh, he's gonna wreck this guy. Farewell. Oh, that was great. That is fun to see. That is a blast to watch. Speaking of blasts, let's see if we can get our ships back. So we lost 130 crew. Oof. Ouch. Okay. We are not going to pursue them. Let them go. And... oh... it's a shame. I will use a story point on this guy, and I will probably... I'll book the drone tender too. I don't care about the kite. Kites are pretty garbo. But we did just buy you, so I am absolutely getting you back. Now that gave us a good chunk of bonus XP, so we will level up a lot faster now for a little while. And let's see. We rescued 7 crew. That's great. Out of the 130 we lost. And we got a good number of stuff from it. Can we carry it all? We can, just barely. And we got 43,000 from doing that. Not too shabby. Almost leveled up, too. Wow. Now these guys probably won't let us, yeah, they won't let us dock. So we need to get out of here. I am going to salvage everything I possibly can. And take it with us. Because we're going to need that to make up for all of the money we just spent. No. There you are. Oh, oh, come on. Really, dude? Whatever. What contraband was that? Yeah, go away. We're just gonna leave. I'm carrying drugs. He doesn't like his drugs. And get this. Like, I just have to beat some pirates up, dude. Can you at least, like, give me a chance? Okay, and we'll just take it all. I think we're... No, we're still good, okay. Let's get out of here before more pirates show up and decide to, want to fight. I think I'll just leave that one there. We're gonna go and get some more crew, because right now we are, I think, pretty badly understaffed. Okay, let's repair our ships. So it cost us 64 supplies. We got like 140 something, so we still made out pretty well there. We got some mod specs. Add those to our repertoires. We're going to sell most of this and just keep 50 of it. And then we're going to go and drop off this other stuff at our station. Yeah, I don't see anything that I really need at the moment. And let's go over to Jangala and see what they have to offer as far as weapons to buy for our Medusa. Oh, and I really forgot to buy crew. Crew. So we need 400, we have 331. Let's buy like 200. So we have a decent buffer for losing crew, which is kind of sucks to say, but there we go. So we basically used up most of the supplies we got from that battle. Let's go over to Jangala here, and we're going to try to find if we can outfit our Medusa with the way that I want to. Oh my goodness. We have Wayfarer, Hound, Cerberus. No, thank you. Okay, we have a dockside bar. Oh. The concourse is in chaos. A crowd of protesters in Luddic greens has formed a human barrier across the main entrance. Surrounding them are angry spacers, officers, and crew alike, waiting to enter the commercial promenade or return to their ships. A small contingent of local Munisec holds the shouting crowds apart. Barely. You recognize the hegemony quartermaster, Varuna Phobos, speaking orders into a small comms unit. She notices you and nods you over. Luddic's protest in the planetside burns, she explains. Get these every other week due to the pilgrims. They consider it sort of rite of passage. She one-arm shrugs to suggest that she doesn't find the matter worth getting too upset over, then speaks another string of tactical jargon into her comms. So we can ask about them, wait for them to clear the protest, join the protesters, offer Marines to clear the protest, or use our Marines to muscle through right now. Let's ask about the shrine. I'm curious. Pilgrims? Is there some kind of shrine here? Not here, she says, eyes not leaving the protesters. On the surface. For appreciating the local plant life. Don't understand why. You wouldn't believe how toxic this stuff is. Detox after exposure is like a week of hangover compressed down into a day or two. She shakes her head. At least that's what it felt like for me. Guess they like suffering. Luddic's for you. Top brass says we gotta humor 'em. Politics, right? A burst of coded garble comes through the comms, and the quartermaster gives a short response. Gendarmerie will be here soon if you want to stay for the show, she says. And I think we are going to just stand by, let things go their normal course. You wait. The crowd grows and grows less patient. A minority jeers and shouts. A few spacers start throwing trash. The Lugs perform their chant prayer, calling for an end to the orbital burns, arms locked. From fights breaking out, it is clear that there is much support for the Ludic cause outside of the overt protesters. It feels near a boiling point when heads start to turn and you see a dark regiment of lightly armored troopers deploy from columns into a wedge. Security drones hum overhead, targeting lasers and ID cams flickering. A steady advance breaks the protest line apart. Shock prods rise and fall to silence shouts and screams. It is difficult to see through the pacification gas, but you can make out drones deploying restraint foam on struggling forms. The Ludic's fists, signs, and even hammers are useless against the power-armored gendarmerie. You may pass safely, citizen, a drone buzzes you in a pleasant voice. Stepping toward the main promenade, you turn to find that you've left a diminishing trail of blood spots. A scuff or two of your heel on the deck plate takes care of the problem. Well, good to know we're all nice and very friendly around here. We have a general at a private table who's offering us a ship. It's an Enforcer-class destroyer. In dock, perfectly good ship. Honorable service record. It is a darn shame to simply scrap it. He meets your eyes with a steady gaze, officer to officer. I can make it yours for 19,000 credits. We have an Enforcer. It is in, like you said, pristine condition. These are pretty tough little ships. We fought a couple of them. They have high armor, especially for a destroyer. They have decent hull for a destroyer, and they have an ability called a burn drive that lets them sort of scoot in or scoot out of battle pretty quickly. Although it does force you to turn your shields off, and you can't turn while you're using it. I'm going to go ahead and buy it, because we don't have any low-tech ships, really. So I think we'll take it. Anybody at the comm directory? We have an officer we could take a look at. They have ordnance expertise, and they're steady. Yeah, we'll end it for now. My mouse just died, apparently. Just a moment, folks. I need to turn my trackpad on, apparently. Okay. We'll end the conversation with them. And we will take a look at the goods to be had here. So in the regular market, we have kind of just stuff we already have. We do have augmented drive field. Don't really need you at the moment. This has, again, nothing too interesting. And the black market has... here's something I was looking for. Light needlers. Now, we don't want to buy too much because we can't turn a transponder off. And what are you? Defensive targeting array? Maybe. But I do want some light needlers for our Medusa. But I am thinking we're going to have to go up to Tritachyon space to find what I want. What I really want. Let's buy 2 of those and see how that affects our suspicion. None. Okay, good. And we can go ahead and we can buy some fuel. Just stock up on you. And we'll buy a... we'll leave our supplies where they are. That's fine. Okay. Well, I'm going to take a quick break here and find out why my mouse decided to die. And I'll be right back with all of you when we go into... probably refit this guy, which you can do right here. Alright people, we are back. Sorry about that. I have no clue why the mouse died. It decided that it just didn't like life anymore. Now, I was poking around here, and I had noticed that our new officer that we got from the last episode, who is steady and has the helmsmanship with the elite setting, which is, it's okay. They have combat endurance, they have point defense, ordnance expertise and polarized armor, I realized they're actually kind of perfect for what I want to do with the Medusa. So I wish we could have found what I wanted to do in this system, but it's not here. But what I want to do with the Medusa is I want to put light needlers on the front here, and then all around this I want to put burst PD lasers. Now we don't have any right now, so we're going to find some. And then here I wanted to put another one of the ion pulsars like we have on this ship, as well as a mining blaster. I don't think we have any of those. So we're just going to probably let's do a single pulse laser for now. And then we also have this ship here, and these, I actually don't really know what to do with these guys. They have a lot of hard points and turrets. So they have a lot of missiles and then several hard points. So I'm thinking we're probably going to want to do some point defense, but we don't really have anything particularly useful here. So let's go back to Corvus, repair our ships here, do another milk run back to Corvus, and let's see what we have available in our garage that we're squatting in. Actually, I didn't visit the dockside bar here, so why don't we do that and approach the man smoking in the corner. This person needs an extract from Cruor. We need 200 Marines, and it's going to really annoy the Dictat, so I think we're going to skip that one. We have an old man. Ah, here we go. Okay, this is actually... I'm not sure if it's important, like story-wise, or if it's just a neat little side quest, but let's see. Or is he supposed to be a Jedi or something, because he's got a robot? I wonder. The old man looks like a hermit who's been living out in the wastes for countless cycles. His robes are dusty, his skin creased and tanned. Yeah, I'm thinking this is like a reference to Star Wars and Tatooine or something. He smiles mysteriously as you approach, and speaks both to you and the mop-haired kid. There's a kid with him too, apparently. Okay. A youth, not yet of 20 cycles. So a 20-year-old kid. I'm thinking this might be Obi-Wan, and the kid might be Luke. What do you guys think? I have a good feeling about this one. What's with the robot? Got some kind of AI in there? You don't need to worry about our little friend here, the old man says. Yes, it is. I don't need to worry about it. The old man nods, satisfied. Let's see. Let me guess. You need transport? No need to involve the authorities. You are quite correct, Captain, the old man says. You shall be paid 10,000 credits upon arrival in Volturn in the Asconia system. It is as you say. We should like to avoid any patrols or inspections. Let's ask. Why not? Why do the authorities want you so badly? The youth starts to speak. Because he's a... And the old man lifts a finger when warning, shutting the kid up. Just some old history that most people have forgotten by now. It is best that you not ask, I think. Fine, you have a deal. So you make arrangements for the old man, the youth, and their robot to be shuttled to your fleet. They don't seem especially dangerous. Surely no one in the Hegemony or Cimmerian Dictat is putting much effort into tracking their movements. I have a bad feeling about that one. Alright, so let's stop by our place here. I'm going to refit this guy. I thought we had some... we have 1 dual flat cannon and 7 regular flat cannons. Can we buy any more here? No. Okay, that's fine. So let's drop in a flat cannon, and a second one there. We have several missile hardpoints. What to do with you? See, we have... Oh, we do have a mining blaster. for you. Oh, and we actually might have... We don't have the small burst lasers, so that's a shame. Let's go and put the mining blaster on, and we'll do an ion beam for now. Why not? And then the rest of you guys get to be regular PD lasers for the time being. Alright, back to you. I'm gonna do something like... Let's see, we could do heavy autocannons, but they're very inaccurate. They have an accuracy of very poor, and they're not particularly efficient. The arbalest is kind of it's almost a junky weapon. It's very low damage, but it's very efficient, and with 3 of them, this will rip through enemy shields like you wouldn't believe. So I am thinking that in addition to that, we do harpoons, and we only have 1. See if they have any back here. Harpoons? Baby harpoons? Ah. Harpoons. I guess we could just stay here. Alright, so harpoons. There we are. And weapon groups, we're going to auto-assign. These are alternating, that's fine. And let's talk about what these ships' purposes are. So, our ships, I mean our ship specifically, we are kind of the nutcracker. Our purpose is to go and really annoy the enemies by getting right behind them and just putting bullets in their tailpipe. The same is true for most of our little frigates. It's kind of all they can really do. They can not really defend well because we don't have the armor. We're not going to be a fleet anchor, no matter how tanky our frigate is. Now we have 2 hammerheads. Both of those are really good strike platforms, and again, nutcrackers is kind of their main shtick. We have our Omen. Now our Omen it's an interesting one. Omens are EMP platforms. They can disable enemy ships, and they're also really good at killing off fighters and missiles. So this guy is basically a mobile, like, point defense platform. And I'm going to trade the Atropos for the Salamander. There we go. Because this guy is meant to basically get up and disable the enemy, maybe even their engines if it can, and let us do the real damage. This guy is supposed to do the same thing, but we don't have the right weapons for him, so we don't keep him in battle yet. But the phase ship will eventually be used to pop out from phase space, deliver a big ol' whammy from whatever we can fit in here, and then disappear again. And maybe even use the EMP that it has, just like the Omen. Our poor carrier that got its teeth kicked in last battle, this is meant to basically project power, and it did absolutely none of that. The Medusa, this is going to be a second sort of point defense platform, but with strike capability, because it's going to have these needlers, which are great, absolutely great for cracking shields, and it'll have this mining blaster, which is a high explosive 4-shot with regenerating charges weapon that can just chew through armor, dealing 200 damage a hit. So pretty good. And then some ion damage to help keep enemy shields or enemy weapons and engines disabled. So that's the point of this ship. I would prefer to have an ion pulsar on here, but if we can't find one, this one will do decently well. This is meant to be kind of a small fleet anchor. It's meant to go in, bust things up, and kind of carry your fleet with it to sort of make room for itself, and then let your fleet come in and shore up behind it. And that's what it's going to do, pretty much. And so that's why I have some flak on here. It'll handle any missiles and fighters pretty quickly, and then it'll crack shields with this, and then absolutely blow things up with, we have 12 harpoons here. That's a pretty good amount for a small destroyer. Now, for hull mods, I don't know what we have for this guy. We have heavy armor, oh boy. That's actually not a bad choice for this one because it does already have high armor. Going to 1200 is actually pretty decent. However, it has terrible flux dissipation, so we're going to fix that first before we do anything else. And you'll see we can go up to 20 here. So different classes of ships have different maximums for capacitors and vents. For frigates, which are our smallest ships, we max out at 10. Destroyers max out at 20. The cruisers, which we don't have any of, or we do, we have one over here. Cruisers max out at 30, and capital ships max out at 50. Let's get back in here. We're going to get the vents. We don't need capacitors. For most ships, capacitors you want to mostly leave alone. You want vents because venting is generally more important than your overall capacity. Now, that flip-flops for carriers and for phase ships. Because phase ships, they generate a lot of soft flux while they are, hard flux, while they are phased, and you need to let them sort of charge that up and hold on to it for as long as you can so they can get out and then vent that flux. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a lesson on vents and capacitors. And I want to go through here. I'm going to play around a bit. I'm going to get these guys sorted out as best I can, and then I'll bring you back for one last little discussion about why I'm going for what I did, and I might do a couple other odds and ends too. But I don't want to make you sit through me hemming and hawing. I'd rather have my thoughts collected and sort of go through what I did and why I did it. So I'll see you all in a minute. Okay, welcome back, folks. We are about ready to move on to some more missions and exploration. Note that our usage of supplies has gone up by not quite double, but it's significant. So we'll have to keep an eye on this because that's going to add up fast in the long run. But I have made some changes to our ships here. Let's go ahead and check out the refit screen. I reorganized the fleet. I like to have all of my officered ships at the top in order of me, and then biggest to smallest, and then unofficered combat ships largest to smallest, which I need to move a couple of these around. Also in some order of preference of deployment as well. That goes into some of this here. Tuck you in there. I'd almost like to move you onto you, but only if I get another loadout like what I have in my ship here. Anyway, let's take a look at what we have for the Enforcer needs to move up here. So you go, let's put you there. So the Enforcer, I kept all of our guns here, and I have 19 vents on. That puts our dissipation about 100 below, not quite 100 below our weapon flux total. Now, bear in mind that our weapon flux is technically 100 lower in general because your PD doesn't, attack enemy ships. So we shouldn't have to worry about that too much. But I added a few mods on here to round things out. We added heavy armor. This will give us a flat 300 extra armor points, and since this thing already had 900 armor, going to 1200 is actually a pretty good deal. Now you'll see that we are not at 1200 but 1290 because I also added in armored weapon mounts. And I am just generally in love with this because so often your shield goes down, or you're overloaded, or you're just not paying attention and your weapons get hit. Well, then you can't shoot and you're useless until weapons come back online. This helps counteract that. It takes twice as long to bring weapons offline, and also it gives you 10% of your base armor, so 1290. I've also added integrated targeting unit. This will give us a 20% bonus, and I guess I should explain why I'm saying 20%. Whenever you see in yellow an ability that has like 4 different slashes or 4 different groupings in it, separated by slashes, that means that the first slash is for frigates, the second is for destroyers, third cruisers, and fourth capitals. So this is a destroyer, so it gets a 20% bonus on targeting for ballistic and energy weapons. I don't find the ITU, which is what people call this in general, useful on frigates because, in our case, 10% of, what do we have, 600 or 500 is 60 and 50. That is a tiny, tiny difference in range. Not really worth it on our ship. However, 20%, it becomes a little more, more of a thought. So this will mean that these can shoot out to 840 rather than 700, and these will have a range of 500, or actually 600. So that means they can shoot missiles and fighters from farther away, which may keep them from getting to the ship, and these can also target enemies farther away. Lastly, I added resistant flux conduits. This is a really handy one on basically any ship. It reduces the amount of EMP damage you take by 50%, which again disables your weapons, and it also increases your dissipation rate while venting by 25%. This guy is meant to get up close and personal with enemies. It's going to need to vent, and may have to do so while up close and personal. So this will help it do that a little bit better, and its armor will help even more. Now, even better would be if we had another officer that had the polarized armor. I would tuck them right in here. And actually, this one is a good candidate, but because the Medusa is even bigger on point defense, I want this person actually here. But yes, polarized armor would make this thing really annoying to actually destroy. And that should be that for this ship. Now, the Medusa. We are kind of in a situation of we put things on because we had them. I would like to change this over to an ion pulsar, like I said, and these to the small burst lasers. But we will find them eventually and upgrade them as we do. And for now, I've added again the integrated targeting unit for the extra range, the same resistant flux conduits for EMP damage, and I teamed up the armored weapon mounts and the advanced turret gyros because the armored weapon mounts reduce the turn speed of your turrets, which would be these, actually all of these, including your PD, and this helps counteract that, and actually it brings it up to above 100%. Now, if we were to build this in, which you can build in up to 2 hull mods as S mods, if we build this in, we could also have our ship deal more damage to missiles and fighters, and I might actually do that at some point, especially when we get the better PD lasers, the burst lasers, because that means that this will be a real PD ship and be able to follow, other ships because it's very fast here, and just shoot down every missile and fighter that gets close. So that is what the purpose of that will be, although I think in the long run, I'm going to do something else once we actually get those burst lasers. Anyway, that is about it, except that we have, over here in the intel, we have an officer promotion candidate that I almost forgot about. They have 1 skill, point defense, and they are cautious. And this is actually what I want. So we're going to go ahead and spend a story point, get a whole bunch of bonus XP, and we now have a new officer. And we're going to tuck them onto our Condor. Because the Condor is kind of... I realized one issue that we had with the Condor, aside from no officer, is that in our command, over here in Doctrine and Blueprints, we set our default aggression level to aggressive. And that means that all of our ships are going to want to get in pretty close and personal. Well, this is a carrier. It has a missile and 2 point defense. We don't want this getting up close and personal. Now, a cautious pilot is going to prefer to stay out of enemy range, only occasionally moving in if outranged by the enemy. Well, we have a range of 4,000 with the missiles, so they'll never be outranged. So that means that this ship should generally stay much farther away from combat than it has been. And I might start teaming up our Shade with it while the Shade is still under-equipped to help keep other things off of our Condor's back. And we will move you up to here, now that you're officered. Now, this does increase our monthly expenditure. We are going to be pretty close to being in the red here, soon enough. So we'll have to deal with that later. But that's going to be for next episode, because this one has been quite the beast. It's been a very talky episode, although we did have a nice combat where we lost a couple ships. Hooray! So I think next episode we're going to get on with some more missions. I want to go check out Galatia and see if we can get those story missions going, Or I might do some more of the dockside bar missions and kind of go through several of those with you, just so we can get a feel for what they are and what we can get out of them. So anyway, I hope you learned a lot about ship composition and fleet composition, and why we're going to have different ships in our fleet for the purposes that we have them. And let me know what you think in the comments. And lastly, I do realize that a couple episodes ago I said to give me a name for our flagship. Well, I have been recording ahead, so it's going to be a couple episodes before this ship gets named. So, sorry about that. But I want you to go ahead and think of names for the Hammerhead in our current episode, and in a few episodes we will have a name for the Hammerhead. Alright everyone, that will do it for the episode. As always, my name has been Corazar. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.